Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm joined with Alex Rodriguez. I'm also joined by the one and only Townie Sports. For whatever reason, I'm just kidding. We like you guys, so we had to bring you back. We had to bring you back this week, so why not? So, Vic,
weekly segment.
What's up?
It's our weekly segment.
Yeah, it's kind of like at this point, we're like cousins. We're all cousins now. So, hey, cuz.
What up, cuz?
How you doing? What's going on, A-Rod?
Nothing, man. Me and Sammy gonna be struggling next week, man. So just keep us in your prayers.
All right, you guys got a marathon going on? What's going on? You can't just say that.
Sammy got the marathon, not me. I don't run.
The only run that A-Rod does is to the no, I ain't gonna say nothing. What I thought about saying, I'm not gonna say it on the airwaves. I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
Man, that's cold.
35 in here. Yeah, man. We can have the roast when 35 comes around, man. But hold on. A-Rod be in the gym. A-Rod be flexing, man. A-Rod got body. So don't be dissing A-Rod like that. Now Ramadan's on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. It's just rough, man.
Gonna be tough.
Ooh. It's crazy. It's already been almost a year. I remember a year ago, Sammy being on the pod, like, dude, I can't do this. He's like eating chicken on the pod. Like, oh yeah, it's a great take, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, hey, A-Rod, I like your background today. The coach wasn't it Shaheen? It's not Shaheen, but what?
Shaheen Holloway.
What is it?
Shaheen Holloway.
Shaheen Holloway. He's a dope ass coach.
He's good. He's
so New York. I will run through a wall for him like that ass.
and his voice is even better. Yeah, these boys they played the hard out today, man. But like we're gonna keep him in line. Like
where's he from? Is he from Brooklyn?
He's from Queens, man.
He's from Queens.
Yeah.
Does that make him a sad Jets fan and a sad Mets fan like you?
We don't got to worry about that. I got happiness behind me with this man back here, so we're keeping the happiness going. So let's episode 61. Always blessed to have you boys on the show, man. It's like he said, we're cousins. You know, we're like a conglomerate now. We love to feed off of each other, be on each other's podcasts. So you know, we need quick go-tos or we need really, really insightful people. We're definitely calling you guys because you're always there and we always got your back. So episode 61, we're inching closer to 100. It's been some time. We'll start off with the NFL offseason, all the crazy things that keep happening every day that we think it's a normal day and we're going to have a shitty day at work. It just gets better because something crazy happens in the NFL world. So we'll touch on all of those things. Basketball, we're going to keep it simple and sweet. I know Vic and Sammy both like college basketball. We never really talk about it on that show, and we're in the Sweet 16 now. So we'll put NCAA and NBA together, open conversation. We'll discuss surprising teams in the tournaments, who we think is going to win. The mandate in New York is lifted, so Kyrie's a full-time player now, not part-time. And LeBron James is just LeBron James in it, leading the league in scoring. So we'll touch base on that. And then I've been wanting to talk about it, and this is my segment, you know, so we'll talk about MLB and all the free agency moves. We can talk about that. I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm wearing a A's hat today.
I'm going to talk about baseball. You're going to wear an A's hat. What's wrong with you?
Hey, man, I had a lot of things to do today. I just grab a hat and throw it on. Every time I try and put a different hat on. And then to wrap things up with the fun segment, KK's got it. I have no idea what it is, so I guess he'll just spring it on you at the very, very end. Can't be too bad.
It's nothing. So, I promise you, it's nothing that's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this. It's simple stuff.
It probably won't be that way for me, but it's all good. So somehow it'll come back and hit me in the face, but I'm cool with it. Whatever. It's our show. It's our show. He tries to catch me lacking, but I always come up victorious somehow. So
no, I'll make sure I check you out.
All right, let's jump into the NFL offseason. So Deshaun Watson finally finds a home. He's in Cleveland now. Why he wants to be in Cleveland, I have no idea. But that's, you know, been rubbing Baker Mayfield the wrong way the whole time. Where's Baker going to end up now? Is he even a hot commodity? Do teams even want him? Does he have to be a backup role? What type of player is he? But it's a massive haul for the Cleveland Browns getting rid of, 3 years of first-round picks, second-round pick?
Like a fourth-round swap, fifth-round, something like that.
Yeah,
and it's funny. It's funny because last week we were like laughing at the idea that Cleveland even had a chance to get Deshaun Watson, because why would Deshaun Watson want to go to Cleveland? But hey, $230 million guaranteed money says, yeah, I think I can live in this damn cold in this ugly ass city for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about the whole thing is, like, on paper, Cleveland has a pretty good team when you look at it. Just minus outside of a wide receiver too. I mean, good running game, good tight ends. Yeah, one solid receiver in Cooper who doesn't get enough love, and the defense is pretty stacked for years to come. So, what do you guys think about the move and Deshaun Watson choosing Cleveland over hometown Atlanta and down the street from Clemson, Carolina?
Well, I'll say real quick, just because you just said, all they have is Amari Cooper. What I've learned, when you have a quarterback, for example, Deshaun Watson is that kind of a quarterback. Let's look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady gets to Tampa Bay, and everybody wants to take less money to go play with him. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork to find a reason to go play in Tampa Bay. Not that Cleveland is the same city and it's not as beautiful or anything like that, but when you have the right guy, whoever is in the market is gonna be willing to go there. We see all of a sudden OBJ is like, I'd go OBJ, like the most Hollywood of all the NFL receivers, is willing to go back to Cleveland. Antonio Brown is probably going to look to go to Cleveland. Like, so I don't really think it's going to be an issue for him to get people to come play there, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's 18 weeks of football, and then you go back to your little mansion in South Beach or whatever. So,
exactly.
Think about like the Patriots. You guys play in the damn cold ass, New England. People are going to go up there to go play with Tom Brady when he was there. It's just, that's what you do. Like, when you have a great quarterback, I don't think they have to worry too much. I think the only concern is the optics of everything, and just everything that he's dealing with. Obviously, the criminal charges were dropped, but he still has 22 civil lawsuits coming at him, and a lot of people are not happy about the situation. So there's going to be a lot of blowback. How is he going to deal with the crowd? How is he going to deal with going on the road? How that's going to be a lot to deal with. I mean, they signed this guy during Women's International Month. They signed Kareem Hunt, who's also been on video doing some stuff. So it's just, the optics don't really look good for them. He should face a suspension. If he doesn't face a suspension, that's going to be even worse, even more blowback. And the impact that he's going to have on NFL salaries moving forward. $230 million guaranteed. That is unheard of. We've never seen anything like that before. And we can already see, I think, we'll get to Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is probably willing to stay in Kansas City. But then you see Christian Kirk go get that salary in Jacksonville, and then Davante Adams get that salary in Las Vegas. That starts to change things. And now quarterbacks Kyler Murray, he's probably looking for a new deal. Lamar Jackson looking for a new deal. They're gonna look over at Deshaun like, this dude has character issues and all this stuff, and he's getting $230 guaranteed. I'm gonna want $250 guaranteed, and that's gonna kind of just change the dynamic of contracts moving forward. So that to me is the biggest takeaway right now. Either one of you guys go.
No, all right. No, I didn't know if you were done yet. So,
yeah.
Congrats to our guy Aaron Rodgers for being the highest paid quarterback for just a little bit,
couple of days.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to want to renegotiate now, because I know that was a big part of it. He wanted to be the biggest, highest paid quarterback. But I want to dive more into why the Browns did this and why they're willing to give up so much capital. So if we want to take a look at the last 2 years of Baker Mayfield, we see that he has progressively gotten worse than his first two seasons, especially his 2019 season, which I think we'd call his breakout season. He only passed for 3,500 yards in 2020 with a QBR of 65.5, but he had probably one of his worst seasons and one of the worst seasons in the NFL last year as a quarterback, finishing 6-8 with a completion percentage of right around 60%, which is, pretty bad. Just over 3,000 yards with 310 yards, 17 touchdowns, 13 picks, and a QBR of 35.1. Now, he could be a good reclamation project for some team. I know that he has his eyes set on Indianapolis, but obviously Indianapolis has moved on and decided to go with the more proven commodity in Matt Ryan. but I could definitely see Baker stepping in somewhere. Maybe, I mean, would you rather? I mean, it's really a would you rather. So let me ask you guys this: would you rather Jameis Winston or Baker Mayfield if you're the New Orleans Saints? Would you rather Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield if you're the Carolina Panthers? Because those are really the teams that are looking for a quarterback here. And I'm actually super surprised that Baker Mayfield didn't go back to the Texans in that swap. That must have meant that they had no interest in him, right? So
sad.
Yeah, super sad.
I mean, even the Seahawks got Drew Lock out of that deal.
Right, exactly. And I don't think the Seahawks are a spot where he ends up, although he kind of fits the Russell Wilson mold in terms of his physical traits, but his arm and his accuracy and his intelligence are not there, at Russell Wilson's par. And that was what people, compared him to. Just to compare apples to apples here. So let's look at Baker's last season where he only threw for 3,000 yards. Deshaun Watson in 2020 threw for 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 7 picks with a QBR of 63.7. So almost double what Baker did.
Who was his top receiver?
Exactly.
It wasn't even Hopkins.
It wasn't Hopkins that year, was it? No, he had left already.
Hopkins wasn't even there. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, that was the 4-12 year. So, and a completion percentage of 70%, which is pretty interesting because he made a significant jump from the previous year where she threw for 67% completion percentage. So he's definitely making strides there and becoming a better quarterback. Now, what has the year off done? I don't know. He's an unproven commodity at this point. But big haul. They say that they give up a big haul for Deshaun Watson, but in my opinion, it's worth it if you're looking at trying to be a serious competitor in the AFC. Now, as far as his personal issues, I'm not going to speak on that. I don't want to give my opinion either because I don't want it to get political on this podcast. But
we got in depth about it last week. If you want to give your opinion,
no, I mean it's bullshit in my opinion. I mean, believe women, right? I mean that's what we're being told. And then this guy, although he wasn't criminally charged, he still has 23 lawsuits. Like you said, KK, I'd be surprised if he doesn't have a suspension. But and then I see the other side, right, where I'm like, maybe he could get off with it. I don't know. Maybe he could get off with a suspension because he wasn't. I mean, I don't know. The grand jury didn't.
No way. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't criminally charged, and he got 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other side of it, I was not as surprised when I saw what they did for that, just because I saw that the load that they gave up for Amari Cooper. You only make a move and a splash like that for a player like that as a wide receiver if you're going to get some sort of quarterback, because it's not going to, they weren't going to stick with Baker Mayfield. So when I saw what they gave up, when I saw they made the huge move to get Deshaun Watson, I was like, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, that definitely makes a ton of sense. Now, like you guys just mentioned, I mean, does he get suspended? We'll have to wait and see. And how is that going to affect them as a team? But I mean, with all the pieces in play, I mean, you're even looking at, I know you mentioned about their second wide receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones had 600 yards last year. I mean, that's not bad for a number 2. And you got David Njoku, who might be better. I mean, we always talked about David Njoku as that tight end that's just waiting to break out. Maybe this is what he needs, and he's got Amari Cooper. So, and Nick Chubb, you know what I mean? So Deshaun Watson's got a lot of weapons there in Cleveland. They got a great defense. So, I think even besides the suspension, I think this team's going to be pretty dangerous. And the Browns made a good move. It's definitely worth it. I think Victor alluded to it on our podcast. I mean, he's 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. I mean, quarterbacks last forever now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's anyway, what you think?
The only thing I have an issue with is like they got rid of Baker.
He's 26, by the way.
26.
He's a baby.
They got rid of Baker, and they were saying, because he's not a proven leader and like a child in the locker room, and you're gonna get a guy that had all these pending lawsuits against him. So like that's bullshit and smoke and mirrors right there. Like that's stupid. That makes no sense to me that you go get a guy that's in legal issues right now. So how does that prove that he's a leader right there and then? And even being a leader, he didn't want to lead his team. He didn't want to play all last season. He could have played, but decided to sit out because he knew he was going to get a suspension. So he decided to avoid all that and sit out. So that doesn't line up with me. I think I'm not trying to make any cases for Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is very, very overrated. And I'll always credit the Jets to finagling that, because I remember like 2 days before draft day, Baker Mayfield was down on that list. He wasn't supposed to even go in the top 10. Then the Jets brought him in. They did their homework and they were like, yo, this guy's really, really good. So then Cleveland brought him in and they were like, that's what we're going to go with. And they decided to do that.
But did you even make the right decision though?
Yeah, I would take the 2 years of Baker. At least he got 2 years of
probably taking Baker over Sam Darnold myself, but
they're both canceling out. They both have nothing really to show, man, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, I mean, you can clown me for the Sam Darnold thing. I'm telling you that my organization just doesn't know how to manage talent and gets rid of it way too soon. So you can say I'm the biggest Sam Darnold fan. I'm really not. I'm just thinking.
You are. You love that.
I'm not. I don't.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
For you, A-Rod, who's a worse organization, the Atlanta Falcons or the New York Jets right now? I'm just saying.
So the Jets are notoriously bad. Like they're I can't say anything positive about them. They don't make any moves when they need to. I don't want to stick on the Jets, man. I want to get back to the Baker Mayfield thing, but my answer will always be the Jets. They have the opportunities to make splashes and they don't. They could have got Tyreek Hill today, and everybody was texting me, "Oh, you're gonna get Tyreek." I was like, "No, we're not. We're gonna find a way to mess this up."
I heard the Jets made an offer, but his initial plan was to go to Miami regardless. So I don't think the Jets really even had a chance. So don't feel bad that he didn't choose the Jets. Because
I don't care.
You texted me that the Jets were going to find a way to mess it up. The Jets didn't mess it up. Tyreek just didn't want to be there because he'd much rather be in Miami. The amount of money he gets, there's no state income tax. You know, he has
but also Cleveland has to look back at it too, or Kansas City is looking like we're getting 3 first-round picks to a 2nd-round pick. Those are just offers that were thrown in. I'm taking the 3 years of first-round picks over 2nd-round picks regardless anyways. I don't care. Even if it was flip-flop, I'm sending the guy wherever I'm getting the best bang for my buck. But New York couldn't even come with a first-round pick, and we've got 2.
Because that would be dumb. Your first-round picks are number 4 and 10.
I know.
The Dolphins' first-round picks are 29 and like.
We're sticking on something that I don't care about. Okay,
I'm just letting you know. Don't feel bad. Don't poop
I'm
on the
not.
Jets too much.
I don't feel bad, but they're bad. They're just bad. They're a bad organization.
They're horrible.
I mean, the Falcons just gave Matt Ryan away for a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, that
just gave him away.
Pretty bad too.
With no backup. That's like quitting your job without
no
a job
backup plan whatsoever. That is.
I'm surprised Bill didn't get him. Why not get him? Sit Mac Jones for a few more years.
Why not?
I would love that.
That to me makes no sense.
All I'm saying, back to the Baker Mayfield thing is, and I've kind of lost my train of thought. Like both the Browns have kind of like threw in the towel on him. You know, they built a perfect thing for him and he couldn't do anything with it. So he's had his time to shine. He had his opportunities to do what he needs to do. And we've seen him fold in all of those opportunities. So then it becomes to the organization. How patient are you with you? Are you going to trust the process? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to trust the 1st-round pick, or are you going to give up? And it shows that Cleveland wants to give up. Cleveland is notorious for writing everything on the chalkboard. And once it gets convoluted, they're quick to erase that and then re-scrap and retool all over again. So if I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm excited for this, but I'm also thinking like, how long is this going to last? Like, is this really what we need to get to the promised land? Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson's got an MVP under his belt, and when he's healthy and his team is healthy, they're pretty dangerous. You know, Pittsburgh may have a crappy quarterback there, but they still got that good defense, and Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season. And then Cincinnati just went to the Super Bowl. Vic's got a big hard on for them still.
But
so
take the legal stuff away. I mean, let's keep it real. Deshaun Watson is the top 5 kind of talent in NFL as a quarterback. So to me, the Browns, and the same thing how I feel about the Dolphins, they're 2 teams that are a quarterback away, basically. Because I don't think Tua is the answer for the Dolphins personally. And the same thing I felt about Baker Mayfield. Literally, they are a quarterback away, and Deshaun Watson could be that quarterback. It may not be next year because he might be suspended 8 to 10 games, but if they can keep this nucleus together in 2 years, there's no reason for them not to be the most dangerous team in the AFC, if not, maybe not the most, but one of the most dangerous teams, because he has that kind of talent. I saw what he did his last year with the Texans. That team was horrible, and they were actively giving up. Got rid of Hopkins, told JJ Watt he can go home. Traded away offensive tackles. Like it was horrible. And he found a way to lead the league in yards.
I'm not trying to find ways to poo-poo on Deshaun. I think it's a great move. I think that's a good get for you. I just think that, like, if I'm Cleveland, I'm not getting my hopes up yet because anything can happen, man. Something could happen. Aaron Rodgers could say tomorrow, like, I would love to play in Cleveland. They're like, we got to get rid of this guy and send him Aaron Rodgers and shit. Like, anything is bound to happen in Cleveland. So if I'm a Cleveland fan, the one thing I'm not buying is definitely not a quarterback jersey. I'm sorry. That's just me. But I think Deshaun Watson's going to pan out fine. I think we got to just see like what happens with the suspension, how long it's going to be. And then from there, sky's the limit, man. I think he's set up for success. They're obviously going to probably get more to put around him, and it's going to be okay in Cleveland. But it's still, to me, I'm just like, when do we get to see like this Cleveland team we've been promised for so many years? It's supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. So that's all I got to say about that.
Touche. That's fair. That's fair. But we were talking about the Browns and everything in that division. I was actually looking at the Bengals, and now I got my heart on for the Bengals too. To me, the Bengals have had the best offseason. Like in a weird way, they've addressed everything they needed to address already before the draft even happened. Literally, that is a team that I never thought I was saying this about the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a team that gets it. Like they said, look, all we needed was to protect Joe Burrow, and we would have ran away with the Super Bowl. They went and got Kappa. They went and got Collins. They went and got Hayden Hurst, who to me is an upgrade from Uzoma. And they're good. Like they're good.
Karras.
And Karras. They got 3 offensive linemen. They got a tight end,
blocking tight end,
a tight end upgrade, and then they got and to me,
Vic is happy.
Yo, you guys got to see what Jason Tatum's doing right now. Holy shit,
he's got 50 yet,
dude. Oh my god, yo.
But to me, that's the team to be in the AFC North right now. Is still the Bengals. Like they've already addressed their issues. Like now what? Like now they have a whole draft to play with. So that to me would be the team I'd be most fearful of next season if I'm an AFC North competitor.
Yeah, that's. I mean, obviously, I think when you win the AFC, you come in as the the front runner that year. But I mean, think about all the things. Oh, man, the AFC is so loaded, and we haven't said that in years how loaded the AFC is.
Oh my god!
Look at the quarterback pool. Just look at the quarterbacks. I mean, the worst starting quarterback in the AFC is who? Like Zach Wilson, Tua.
Damn. Wait. I've been asking this question all day. Who would you rather have?
Trubisky?
Who would you rather have, Tua or Zach Wilson? Like, because that was the options for Tyreek Hill. I've been asking this all day. Tua
I think I'd rather have Zach Wilson, if I'm being honest with you. I think I know what Tua is. I don't know what Zach Wilson is yet. Tua is not that guy. Actually, I think Tua and Baker Mayfield are a great comp.
They are. They are.
Well done, A-Rod. I agree. So, yeah, I probably would have gone with Zach Wilson just because of the unknown there. He was hurt all last season. Didn't really get a fair shake. Also, that Jets team, I'm sorry, A-Rod is terrible around him.
But they've done a good job this offseason. So let's not you've been shitting on the Jets all. I'm not gonna let you shit on the Jets today.
They signed one good player, bro. One good player.
Bro, they have a better offensive line now. Like they're probably a top 10 offensive line. You don't like Conklin pickup? You don't like what's the other tight end they picked up? Uzoma? Those are not bad tight ends to have. You still got Michael Carter. You still got Elijah Moore.
They won't use them, bro.
Okay, but now that he's gonna have a little bit of protection, they're gonna have time. I don't know. I know.
If you signed Conklin or Uzoma, would you have been like, "Oh my god, I'm so ecstatic"?
Bro, who have the Eagles signed? We signed Pascal, whatever from
Pascal.
Yeah. And then
I'm sick of everybody ganging up on me on my shit because like I don't want to talk about it and I'm just not happy.
I think the Jets are doing fine. That's why.
I don't think they are. When they win 3 games next year, I'll be like, we did great.
To A-Rod's point, this is a team that's like $3 million over the cap as well. So, and they're not even that good.
Jesus.
We're over the cap. We have money to spend. We're like top 3 every year in cap space, and we never spend. That's the problem.
You're $3 million over.
You're $3 million over now.
Jesus.
Oh well.
And again, there we go. Another get the finance guy in here.
And they wanted to go get. How are they going to get? What's his name then? Tyreek Hill. Like, what were they planning on doing with that?
Who knows? Who cares, man? Like they're consistently a headache, and they gotta have like town halls where the fans just speak, because I feel like better. Because Joe Douglas hasn't done one thing to turn my head. When I thought he signed Corey Davis and that was a good move, I was like, okay, this could be something. But Corey Davis is, I don't want to say a first round bust, but he's just a mediocre first rounder is what he is.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's not N'Keal Harry, but I mean, I'd rather have Corey Davis than N'Keal Harry.
No, N'Keal Harry is I don't know what the hell happened there.
Hey, he's a good blocker.
Look, I got to tell you, I think, and let's get into this Tyreek Hill thing now, because I want to talk about the AFC East really quickly. I think you guys are in trouble. Like the best move you guys did to is go get your boy Malcolm Butler back, who you didn't play against us in the Super Bowl for whatever reason. That was the best thing the Patriots have done this offseason.
You show up late to practice, you don't play.
Let's look at the Dolphins roster. With Tyreek Hill and all the moves that they've made this offseason, they completely revamped their roster. They got an offensive mind. I wish they did this for Brian Flores. I was saying this earlier. I'm like, damn, you can get all these players. You could have get all these players last year for Brian Flores. But anyway, the Dolphins are way better now. Obviously, Tua may not be the guy, but they have way more weapons than the Patriots. Like the Patriots look like a boring offense, and I don't know how that's gonna fare in this AFC East now. Buffalo obviously is gonna be amazing next year. The Dolphins, although Tua was an issue, I said the same thing last year with when I picked the Browns to make it to the Super Bowl. I said the only reason why they won't make it to the Super Bowl is because Baker Mayfield sucks. So maybe Tua sucks that bad that they don't make it to the playoffs, but offensively, they're loaded, and they already had a pretty decent defense to begin with. So
there's two things that they don't have, though. They don't have a running game, and they don't have a quarterback.
Raheem Mostert, they just signed him.
Yeah, but I mean, really, come on.
And we're talking about what's the coach they just brought in. Mike McDaniel. He is a running game specialist. Like that is what he does.
I know, but if you don't have a running game, you don't have an offense.
Chase Edmonds, and Raheem Mostert is not bad pickups at all. Those are the two running backs.
No, but those aren't starting running backs to me. Those are like backups that come up that are number twos at best.
Ramondre Stevenson's better than them.
Yeah, I think so. I'd rather have Ramondre.
Harris is better than both of them. They're all
absolutely.
Harris is probably the best out of that bunch, and then I would take Raheem Mostert. And Raheem Mostert healthy is actually the best. If he's healthy, he's probably better than Damian Harris. So
I would exactly, if he's healthy. Those are the famous words of everybody that knows that that player is not that great. If he's healthy, he's great, but he's not. And what's the best? What is it? What's the best stat? Availability or something?
Availability is your best ability, but
best ability is availability.
But what did you say? What did you say that the Patriots running backs were banged up last year too?
Yeah, Damian Harris was, but for the most part, Ramondre was there when he wasn't a healthy scratch from Bill, and that was only in the beginning of the season. I thought Ramondre came on late in the year and did a fine job.
And I thought there were a lot of scratches in there for Damian Harris that were more just a little more careful. Yeah. I don't think he was not healthy. I think it was a matchup thing, and they were like, okay, I think we can get away with this game without having to put the mileage on Damian Harris.
Yeah, because I don't think Bill was thinking that we're going to go for it this year. And I don't think he's thinking that he's going to go for it this year either. I'm interested to see what the Pats do with the number one pick with their first round pick here. If they go wide receiver, then that's a signal to me. That they're looking to go for it. But
what number do they have?
20 something. I think they're in Jameson Williams territory if they want to go for it. But we'll see. Him. Yeah, I don't think we'll take. I think he'll fall to us, but I don't think we'll get
some guy from Indiana State.
Yeah, he will be available, but you won't draft him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So do you feel? So how confident do you feel? Like honestly, going into the season?
We didn't win the division last year, so yeah. I mean, I don't feel great. I don't think we're better than the Bills. I'm not going to say that, but I think that we're the second best team in that division. Absolutely. And I don't even think it's close. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Dolphins did beat you guys twice last year.
There's something weird about with Bill and the Dolphins. I thought they only beat us once last year.
No, it was twice, beginning of the season and last game.
Did they beat us the last game again?
They sure did.
They did every kind of beer.
The Dolphins have some kind of psychological voodoo over the Patriots lately, and
I still don't think that. I still don't think they're a better team. And I think we have the better defense by far. I think our offense is better because we have a way better quarterback. Funny enough, he was sitting behind Tua in college. So, oh my God.
My problem with Mac is that I feel like this is the best he's going to be. I don't know how much better he's going to get than what he is right now.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones is a Matt Ryan type. I think he's that type of quarterback where he's going to put up numbers, not great numbers, not bad numbers. Like, is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer? Oh, not really, but he's solid.
Yeah, it's like Phillip Rivers kind of thing.
But, yeah, Phillip Rivers. Well, yeah. Phillip Rivers, I think, is a little bit better, had a little bit better seasons than Matt Ryan. But exactly that kind of mold where he's there, he's reliable, he's there for 15 years, and maybe he gets us to a Super Bowl once.
So if the Colts somehow miraculously make it out this AFC gauntlet, is Matt Ryan and they win the Super Bowl, is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer then?
I don't know. If we're having the Matt Ryan Hall of Fame conversation, I gotta look some numbers.
It sounds like that's like the kind of the Matt Stafford thing that just happened. Like he gets out of a situation. I mean, it's not like Atlanta was a horrible situation. I mean, he got into a
great situation.
Yeah, it's just Colts look good right now. The Colts, if they can if they can get some receivers that do something, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad over there. But A-Rod, let me ask you, because I want to stick to the AFC East. Obviously with Tyreek Hill, we don't have to talk about the Jets. Don't worry. But it's still your division as well. So with Tyreek Hill in Miami, what do you think the lay of the land looks like over there in the AFC East?
I mean, I think it's a toss-up for the Patriots and the Dolphins to be number 2. Obviously, I think Buffalo is number 1. I think this acquisition of Tyreek Hill is very intriguing. But what type of player are you going to get out of Tyreek Hill? Is he going to mesh with Tua? Is he not? Like, that's the thing. He has a good rapport with Mahomes, and he said we're going for those Michael Jordan numbers. We're going for 7. Well, it ain't happening anymore, bro. Yeah. So Tyreek Hill's gonna have to get used to losing now, and not. They drafted Waddle first in the first round. Like, Waddle's gonna factor in, so he's gonna have to understand that this guy is a project that they're wanting to bank on for a very, very long time in the organization. And Bill, I never sleep on Bill, because Bill can be shitty one year and then Bill can shock you the next year. Bill knows how to win football games. I know his game is old school and it's not what we're accustomed to, but it wins you football games. The problem is with the Patriots, I just think Mac Jones, I don't know, he's just kind of boring to me, in my opinion, but I think he's a good quarterback. Still think he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying, we're expecting. It's hard to follow Tom Brady. It's just very hard. You're not going to get that from him. If everyone's thinking Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady, it's probably not going to happen. It's got a lot of life on the shelf still to see what happens. But I mean, the Jets, they don't factor in this conversation at all. They're just there to give wins to people, whoever need them to progress. The way I look at all this is just, and this is my personal opinion, I see that entire division making good moves that put them in play. And I see our team making moves. Yes, they are, but they're not making moves that are beneficial. Tomlinson is the only signing I'm happy about. This team hasn't used a tight end since Dustin Keller when we went and got 2. One was a backup who took the starting reins, and the other one was a guy who was a backup who then became the starter, who was always getting hurt. He has some flashes in fantasy, but I'm not looking at your fantasy numbers. I'm looking about what you do all the time on the field. Mm-hmm. So I think a tight end is going to help Zach Wilson. I would have rather them draft somebody young, but they didn't go that route. But I don't know. We have a lot of draft picks in this draft, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do there. I'd rather them keep all those picks, keep them, but knowing them, they're going to move them around to next year, try and get more stockpile next year, and just ride the shitty jet in flames to the ground. So
I was gonna say, you know what you guys haven't spoken about in the AFC East, Patriot fans? You guys lost Josh McDaniels. That's, to me, is a huge thing.
No, he was like the worst thing about the offense last year, dude. He was horrible last year
because he's limited. Who is he throwing? Like what is this? All right,
dude,
Sammy, what you got to say?
I mean, we all know he has full reins of the offense, right? Like,
Yeah.
they'll trust him with that offense. And some of the play calls, he was so conservative. And I get it. You got a rookie quarterback, right? You got to be a little bit conservative. But when we were rolling, bro, let that man cook. Let Matt cook. I don't know how many games you watch, KK, or probably you just got as frustrated as us because you're like, yo, let this man cook. And then they'd run the ball. Or they'll throw a screen pass and try to get a guy in open space when we know that's not our talent level. It's about getting the guys open in a timely manner. And Mac Jones was hitting all the throws that he was supposed to. I mean, and to touch on the AFC East, like everybody's looking at the Patriots, and I'm one too who gets so frustrated. We don't make the big splash, right? But Bill's not just looking at winning right now. You know, he's looking at the landscape of the NFL. Everybody's spending all this money on guys that may or may not pan out at certain levels. If you're paying 15 to 20% of your salary cap on one player, that's a lot. You're looking at us, we have 7% on one player, and that was an impact defensive end, right? Everybody else is pretty much under that, 5% or lower on our salary cap. So he's probably looking around and seeing what these wide receivers are getting paid. And he's like, I'm just not comfortable paying Allen Robinson $25 million. So, I mean, it sucks for being a Patriots fan because we know Bill as a GM doesn't always hit, but I mean, we always forget too the times that he has hit, and he's hit on plenty. And so, yeah, with the Josh McDaniels thing, that does kind of suck, but he was very conservative last year. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
If Belichick really thought he had any more left in the tank, I don't think he would have left. I don't think he would have let him go. I'll be honest.
Okay. All right. Let's spin it now because I want to.
And we overachieved last year. Let's not mistake that. We're not going to come on here and saying we're going to be champions, but we overachieved, and I'm happy with that.
Okay, that's fine. Now let's look at it from another lens. The Chiefs. Now, a year ago, you guys were actually on the show when I said this, and I said it a year ago that it is very possible that Patrick Mahomes never wins another Super Bowl again. And I've stuck to that till this day. Even as hot as they got last year, something just tells me his career is more Russell Wilson than it is Tom Brady. And I said for a lot of reasons, he's going to get his contract. Once he gets that contract, everything kind of falls. On top of the fact, Kelsey's 32 years old. He's getting older. I knew Tyreek at some point needs to get paid, to the point in which he's off of the team. Now they're relying on Juju Smith-Schuster, who's, I mean, I don't know what you want to call him. And then they're going to probably sign Valdez-Scantling, go Bulls, but it's not like he changed his life as, you know, like Tyreek Hill did. So, and now they've lost Tyrann Mathieu. Is it possible that I'm not crazy? And what do the Chiefs do from this point now?
I think you're looking at a situation with Tyreek Hill, right? Like, so you said it perfectly. They're not going to pay him. They can't pay him, right? But then they ended up going out and getting two guys that can do what one guy does, right? Like Valdez-Scantling. Yeah, he's not as great as Tyreek Hill, but he has that same stretch. Juju Smith-Schuster goes over the middle a lot. Is that going to show a little bit tough for Travis Kelce because that's where he likes to be, right? But we saw a little change of their offense when they were very, very effective as an offense, especially in the postseason. We saw them do a lot of that intermediate game, and I think they realized that they can't just rely on the Tyreek Hill. Now, I will say this: I think you're onto something with the Patrick Mahomes being more of a Russell Wilson than a Tom Brady, though. That could be the situation because I mentioned it about Russell Wilson years ago. I was like, that's the end of that, right? Yeah. When he got that contract, I'm like, that's the end of that for the Seahawks. And what ended up happening? A decline. You pay 20% of your salary to a quarterback. Granted, yeah, you got to, but you gotta manipulate that market a little bit, right? Like, look at Tom Brady. He knew he has to be successful because he has to take these small contracts with more incentive basis so that he can make his money on the end, not kind of like upfront. So you are onto something with that.
And I mean, just quickly on Tom Brady, that's like he's like Aaron Rodgers, the anti-Tom Brady, because Aaron Rodgers wants his money now. That's why Davante Adams is out the building. Anyway, Vic, I would just say, I don't know if you heard what I was just saying, but
sorry guys, I apologize.
So a year ago, I said that Patrick Mahomes will never win. It's possible that he won't win a Super Bowl again. And I said for the reasons, his big contract's going to come, and it happened. Kelsey's old. He's 32 now, so he's getting older. I knew Tyreek Hill's going to want his money, and now he's out of the building. Defensively, they're going to start to see some slippage, especially with Matthew gone. And now the AFC is 20 times 20 times tougher with young quarterbacks. I mean, Justin Herbert, young quarterback. At some point, Trevor Lawrence is going to break through, young quarterback. I mean, Joe Burrow, young quarterback. You got to believe in Trevor. A lot of good Deshaun Watson, whatever you want to call him. He's 26 years old, young quarterback. So is it possible that I'm not crazy about what I said about the Mahomes never winning another Super Bowl again, or it's going to be very hard. And B, what do the Chiefs go from here now that they've lost a big? I mean, he had 150 targets last year. I mean, a big part of their offense. So, what do you think about the situation?
If I'm a handicapper, I'm going to go ahead and say that I would actually put the favorite for him not to win a Super Bowl next year. I would put the odds in that favor. I think it's more likely that he will not win a Super Bowl for the rest of his career than it is that he will. And for all the reasons that you just mentioned, number one, number two, they're going through the Legion of Boom issue, right? That happened in Seattle, like you said, as well, where the big contracts come up. Same thing happened to Russell Wilson. Same thing happened to every other quarterback in the league when they're running it. Same thing happened to Tom Brady. Tom Brady took, I know you were talking about Tom Brady in the end, Sammy, but in the beginning, he took some big money, and we lost that defense. So I would not be shocked. And you even mentioned Josh Allen, and when you were talking about young
quarterback, Josh Allen. How did I miss that?
Yeah. So I honestly, KK, I don't even know if he's the best quarterback in the division. I hate on Josh Allen a lot, but I don't know, man. Josh Allen might get him this year. And Herbert looks good. Burrow with another year under his belt might be even better.
And protection.
Yeah, I mean, he was so far and so far and away ahead of everybody else these past few years. I don't think he's winning that arms race as far as he is this year. Currently, he's still the number one, but I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't the number one quarterback next season at the end.
Hey, Rod.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes just dazzles, but to win another Super Bowl now, you got a big hole at the wide receiver thing. It's just like Aaron Rodgers. You had the best receiver in the game, and he decided to say, "Nope, I'm done with this clown show. I'm out. I'm gonna go play where it's warm and play with my boy, and this clown show's done. The circus stops here." So that fills a big hole for Kansas City, and there's like a lot of holes on that team if you look at it. Like the defense, there's holes everywhere. There's holes in the line, there's holes in the linebackers, there's holes in the secondary, and now you got a big hole on the receiver. So it's going to be interesting what they do in the draft, because now they have 2 first-round picks back to back. And what are they going to get there? And could it be wide receiver? Because there's a lot of wide receiver depth in this draft. And
could be.
There's also a lot of defensive line, defensive ends in this draft as well, and secondary. So they could, if they draft well, they could come out on top and get good plug-ins for this team. And it all depends on how they gel with Mahomes. And I think Mahomes is the kind of guy, kind of like an Aaron Rodgers. You just put a guy out there that you have no idea who he is, and he turns into a star. So I think it's scary. Like, I put the Chiefs at the bottom right now in that division if I look at it with Tyreek Hill gone. But they could shock us and take, I don't know, one of the kids from Ohio State, or if Jameson Williams will fall to them, they could take him. And when he comes and plays in November or whatever they're targeting, we could forget about Tyreek Hill there and see the era of a new wide receiver. Or they could go out and get OBJ. You never know. Something could happen that's very, very strange. Or Antonio Brown. Something can happen. But I think Kansas City is the type of organization that doesn't want to put up with that shit. And Tyreek Hill's kind of a headache in a way. So that's probably they were like, go facilitate your trade, whatever you want. We held our end of the bargain. We did what we could with you, but we didn't put up with the Kareem Hunt. We're not going to put up with this shit. So, you're on the way out. So I don't know. I just see them as an old school organization, and I would be I'm on the same page as you guys. I could see Pat Mahomes more of Russell Wilson than Tom Brady type of guy, but NFL, there's so much life left in this guy for things to happen. Sure. Just like we said about Russell Wilson, he's set up for success now, where he could go and win another one and be like, pull me on the Fairweather podcast so I can clown you guys now. So, You never know. Anything is possible. Any given Sunday. That's the way I roll.
Too nice of a guy.
Hey, Rod, I know you and I have talked. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I'm just about everything. That's it.
I know you and I had talked about this, and KK, you can kind of talk about it too. Like when you're looking at Tyreek Hill and you're looking at what the Chiefs had to deal with, right? And they're coming up on a situation where they're going to have to pay him in a year. Is that the type of receiver you're going to give 20, 25, 30 million to as compared to like a Davante Adams or a Jamar Chase? Like, I just feel like you look at Tyreek Hill, granted, he's explosive. Don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about an actual talent-wise top wide receiver, is that something you want to invest in? Because speed dies.
My rebuttal to that is he's been with that organization for that long and they've won with him and he understands everything. So that's where I say is he worth that money to you? Yes, Davante Adams played with Derek Carr 8 years ago at Fresno State, but is it going to work in the NFL? We don't know. We have no idea. Is he the best receiver in the NFL? Yeah, no, I mean, we can say that, but if he tears his ACL or has a bad, year, I mean, we saw, what's the guy from the Giants, Hakeem Nicks. Hakeem Nicks was like this great receiver one year, and then he just came down, and then teams were like, we're going to take him because he's going to do what, and came down. So
I would just to pause right there. I cannot put Davante Adams and Hakeem Nicks in the same paragraph.
I'm just giving an example.
Page. I'm sorry.
I never said that he's compared.
I know what you're trying to say, but yeah.
Okay, don't Stephen Amy on this show. Don't, you're not deserving to be on this show. Don't like that's just an example. It's get in where you fit in. If you fit into this organization and they got the money to pay you, keep those guys that how to play the game of football with and win games. But teams like Miami, who just like, we got money over here. Who can we go buy? Who doesn't want to be there? Oh shit! Throw the bank at him. It could probably not even pan out over there. I mean, I'm hoping it does. I want him to do well. I want everybody that signs a free agency deal to do well, except for people that go to the Patriots. But other than that, like I want everyone to do good. Nah, even that, like I want Harris to do good. I want Mac Jones to do. I want them all to do good. But it's a gamble that you're playing on at the end of the day. I look at players kind of moneyball-less, but I look at them more like how often are they in games? Are they healthy all the time? And what impact are they making in this game? That's how I look at guys. Like if there's a guy that they go out there and they like the Jalen Waddle thing, like I wouldn't have drafted Jalen Waddle. He showed to me that like even though he's hurt, he wanted to play and he looked bad in that national championship game. And I was like, I wouldn't waste a first round pick on him because he just came off an ACL tear. But it proved me wrong, and I'm okay with that. But that I look at things like that because injuries and major injuries can set you back very, very far.
That's probably why Jameson Williams is probably like, yeah, we got to go get that guy because at the end of the day, the talent is obviously there, so you might as well draft him. But back to your Tyreek Hill point, I mean, would I give him 20 million or 20? He's getting 120 million over 4 years. That's like 30 million a year. Would I give that to him?
I would.
He won a He helped me win a Super Bowl. He did a little peace sign and stuff. That I mean, that's cool. He had 1,200 yards last year, so he's had back-to-back 1,200 yard seasons. Is he always available? He's gonna get a little dinged up. He's a smaller guy. But speed does die. But we got to give credit to the end of this year's wide receiver draft class. Teams are willing to not re-sign their receivers for $30 million contracts because, hey, why would I pay you 30? I get this guy in the first round and pay him 5. So I think to the credit of how deep this draft class is in receiver, that's why it was an easier decision for the Packers to say, pick a team of your choice. And Tyreek Hill, pick the team of your choice because we're that confident that one of these Ohio State guys are going to be there. One of these Alabama guys is going to be there. Arkansas kid's going to be there. Indiana kid's going to be there. Penn State. So there's faith in the draft, and they've seen enough on tape to know if he's there at 20, 22, 23, we're going to get him. And if not, we'll trade up. So I think to that credit, that's probably why they did it. Yeah. And obviously, one thing I'll always give credit to the Patriots is that they've always found a way to make the cap work. And they've never had like issues like this where it's like, God, I got to pay this guy $40 million next year. I don't know if I can do it. Like they'll get rid of you the year before you even start to slip in production. They know how to they play that money ball thing really well. So
that dead cap will kill you, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Atlanta Falcons, God, $40 million for dead cap money, like that's horrible. Oh, that's horrible on every end for a third round pick. But anyway, so would I resign? If I was the Chiefs, would I give him the money that he's asking for? It's hard to say, given that the draft class is coming up and the guys who are still available. I mean, there's still guys available. Maybe they can't fit what he does, and now their offense has to change a little bit. But I think this is good for Mahomes because I think Mahomes got too comfortable his first couple of years doing how he played, which is why, I mean, since that Cincinnati second half was the most humbling thing he's probably ever going to experience. Because the Super Bowl was one thing. He didn't have an offensive line. I don't count that against him. That was nothing he could do about that. But that second half against Cincinnati was so humbling for him. I think he realizes I need to change the way I play, and I can't keep focusing on big play, big play, big play. Like I need to. So I think this will help him in the long run. But so I think organizationally, it was probably the right move to make at this point, because right now the AFC is super loaded and one guy is not going to change your life. Like if you get three guys that can get you that one guy's production, maybe we're talking, but
that's what they did.
But
think about it.
But like, I don't know how good I feel about Juju and MVS. No offense to MVS, go Bulls, but I get it. If they can go get Garrett Wilson or Olave or one of these guys, then all right. Now,
if both of those guys get 600 to 700 yards per game, that's a win. By doing what they do well, that's a win, because you got two guys for the price of, or for probably less than the price of one.
You know what's crazy is that I was looking here. Tyreek Hill was outgained by Mark Andrews last year. Did you guys know that?
Well, Mark Andrews was on another level last year.
No,
I didn't know that though. I didn't know that.
He was the 6th leading receiver last year with 1,300 yards.
Wow.
Yeah. So only outgained by Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, Davante Adams, Justin Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp, who was incredible last season. But now I think about it, as you guys talk, I don't think Tyreek Hill's worth that money.
Yeah,
I think that is a total Miami move. Where
after I just looked up his stats, I started to agree. Like, $30 million a year for this. I don't know.
28 years old.
Yeah.
It just shows you a team that has money and is willing to spend to, one, put people in the stands and get you excited about something. But maybe the guy's an offensive guru and he gets what he needs out of him for that lifespan. But that's a lot of money you got to pay.
First year coach, sheesh, that's a lot.
I bet you KC was like, "Oh, thank God."
Probably.
I can't believe they took it.
I can't believe they took it.
Holy shit. Did you see that?
Because A-Rod, I bet you, to your point, if nobody gave an offer like that, they probably would have signed him for the loyalty factor. You know what I mean? But somebody came and called and they were like, yes.
Miami and New York. I can't believe it.
New York's in the second round. Hold on.
Wow, the swindle of the century.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God! Now watch Tyreek Hill go for 1,800 yards this season and
not with two.
No shot.
How about Bridgewater? All right. How about Bridgewater? Can we say Bridgewater is better suited for this team, or we're gonna just stick with Tua the whole year? You think Bridgewater starts by week 4?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think there's too much invested into it.
They're all gun ho on Tua, man. Like Tua's gonna have to like Baker Mayfield this shit and show why he shouldn't be the quarterback with everything on the team that they have. That's what's gonna have to happen.
Which is probably what's going to happen.
I agree.
This is a Baker Mayfield year for him, I think.
But I think you're also too. I think Jalen Waddle caught on a little late.
Yeah.
Into the season, probably 4 or 5 games. Then he started to catch on. That's
I think it was later than that, Sammy. I think it was like more than halfway through the season.
But he still ended up with like 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I know.
104 receptions.
And when like, and I think they just realized like Devontae Parker's just not going to be that guy. He's just not going to be that guy. So they went out and had to make.
Doesn't want to be that guy.
And Tua was a 68% completion percentage quarterback last year.
I know that.
That's check down Charlie. If you watch the Dolphins play, he's gonna have Tyreek Hill wide open down the field and gonna check it down to Alex Ingold.
Just not get it.
He's not taking those risks in the NFL right now because his hip. I mean, he has a bad hip. Let's keep it real. He can't really drive like he wants to as much as he can because that hip injury. I mean, once you have a bad hip, that doesn't just magically go away. Like you need to rehab for a while, and it's still gonna linger. So, and he's smaller in stature. So I I worry about Tua because I really did like him coming out of college. I think this might be just too much for him to deal with right now. Like this is like now pressure is on him right now.
Well, and to your point, check down Charlie. He averaged 6.8 yards per attempt last year. Not too bad.
It's not bad.
It's not Deshaun Watson who was at 8.9 in 2020, but not too bad.
Oh well, it's a new lay of the land in the NFL, man. People are getting paid. Divisions are stronger than the other.
You said 6 point what? I'm sorry, 6 point what?
6.8, almost seven.
That's 24th. That's 24th out of starting quarterbacks.
It's not bad.
Davis Mills was 6.8.
Davis Mills was a rookie of the year candidate, sir. I don't know.
All right, and losing every game, probably worse.
Jalen Hurts, who were running football, was 7.2. We're a running team, and his was 7.2.
Listen, I didn't say it was great. I said it was
all right. I'm just saying. Check down Charlie.
Let's switch over to basketball now. We're gonna combine NCAA and NBA. So we haven't really discussed much about college basketball, but everybody's brackets are fucked up. I can pretty much guess that. Those of you who pick Kentucky, shame on you. This man back here is a wizard, and he likes to beat big programs. He's going to do it against Purdue, hopefully. I'm praying for him because he's so New York. But St. Peter's is definitely keeping everybody on their toes, being a small school.
Cinderella, baby.
And the guard, the guy with the mustache, just got to deal with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wild Wings. I'm like, good for you.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
I mean, it's all open dialogue. What's like the most surprise? I mean, you guys, I went to watched my first college basketball game with Sammy in the SEC tournament.
That was your first?
I have not watched college basketball all year. No,
like in person. Like yeah. I don't watch until the tournament either. And I was telling Sammy A-Rod, I used to only watch for scouting purposes only.
For scouting, and I used to watch it just to watch it. But this is the first year I haven't watched it. But man, when we watched that Vandy game, those boys were shocking the world. And then Sammy was like, "Watch out, the SEC is really good this year, and SEC is all out of it now, man." I don't think
they got waxed. Even Vanderbilt last night in the NIT tournament got beat by Xavier.
I know on Sammy and my podcast we had a discussion of who our dark horse teams were, and I know my dark horse team is still in there. Sammy, do you still have any in there?
Yes, just one.
So was it Houston?
Yeah.
We have the same one.
You know who my dark horse team is?
Who is it?
The Miami Hurricanes.
No chance.
Now I cheer for I cheer for the Tar Heels, and then basketball wise, I cheer for the Tar Heels. But I have love for the University of Michigan, no matter what sport it is. So either one of those two would be great. An 8 seed and 11 seed. But Miami Hurricanes are a dangerous basketball team. Just look out. They have a lot of older guys. Like my big thing that I've learned over the last how many years I started watching college basketball, especially now in the day of one and dones, the teams that have seniors and juniors are the teams that end up going farther in this tournament. Why? You got 22-year-olds with experience playing against 18-year-olds who are scared of the bright lights. That is, I mean, it's tough. And, you look at some of these teams and you realize the reason why St. Peter's is so good, they got grown-ass men on the team.
All juniors and seniors.
That's how that is a secret to winning basketball. Because at the end of the day, no matter how talented an 18-year-old kid is, there's a reason why.
Well, it's a little bit of luck too. So if you look at St. Peter's and you look at the Ken Palm rankings, you got St. Peter's down at 102. Do you know what the next lowest team is on the Ken Palm rankings?
No.
It's Miami at 42. So two teams that are really doing it by luck. And if you look at their luck right now, it's got to be off the charts here. Let's see.
I wouldn't say it's luck.
I would not call that luck,
dude. I get it. I get that they're beating teams, but the thing is, this is not sustainable. There's no way
Miami beat the brakes off of Auburn, who it was a popular choice by teams to make it to the Final Four, if not get to the championship game. They beat the brakes off.
Yes, Vic, you are correct. Their luck is the highest out of all the other teams.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm just not buying it. They will end up losing in the tournament again. So I would be shocked if they made it past the Sweet 16.
You know who they play next?
Yeah, they play Purdue, right?
No, Miami.
Oh, they play
Iowa State, the best defense in all of basketball.
You think Miami's scared of Iowa State? Then let's say they win that game.
We're talking about Miami. We're talking about St. Peter's.
All right, St. Peter's. All right, St. Peter's is done. They're done. St. Peter's is done. Like, I love the story, but Purdue
shoots, bro.
Purdue was a number one seed for like a couple weeks this season. So they're legit. They had a little slippage in the middle of the year, but Purdue that's a legit Big Ten program with Big Ten talent, with veteran leadership, just like I just mentioned. So I think St. Peter's story is good, but let's be honest, they beat San Francisco and Murray State. They didn't beat any blue chip school or anything like that. They didn't beat anybody in the Power 5 conference. They beat
Kentucky.
St. Peter's beat Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. My bad.
Kentucky. They beat it too.
But I mean, to KK's point, that's a team of all freshmen.
And Kentucky is a team of kids. So my bad. I got that one wrong. Murray State beat San Francisco. But yeah, they beat Kentucky. That was a horribly coached game. I watched that game from tip off to the end. Calipari is the most overrated head coach in all of sports, in my opinion. He's a great recruiter. He's a fantastic recruiter because he knows what he tells you. I'm going to get your son into the first round of the NBA. Fantastic. But actual X's and O's, he is so bad. Like, it's like depressing to watch. I'm like, bro, why are you so bad? So that is how I feel about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer, no, I'm just kidding. About Calipari as well. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, St. Peter's is done though. So
but also and Miami, dude, Miami's done.
Iowa State?
Yeah, Iowa State, the best defense, like Sammy said, left in the tournament. Actually, I'm sorry, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is still in the tournament. So Texas Tech and then Iowa State.
I mean, I'm looking at the breakdown of stats between the two of them. It's like right down the middle. I mean, they average less.
You're talking to the stat homies. We're looking at 10 palm. We're not looking at box scores, baby. Come on.
I don't need no 10 palms, 10 pulls, 10 grams. I don't need none of that. I'm telling you, I look at the eye test and what I see on TV, and I see grown ass men playing for Miami. And Iowa State got some talent. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna take Miami. If you put a gun to my head, I'm taking Miami to win that game. You guys like to do odds and this stuff, right? What are the odds saying right now?
Let's see. Let's see, Sammy.
Let's see.
I'm gonna look it up right now just for you, KK.
I appreciate it. I got
just to fill in. I think KK, you're really onto something. I think not to go too far into NCAA because I know you guys like more talking NBA, but I
love the NCAA. It's A-Rod who doesn't.
I know, but to get everybody involved,
we just don't talk about it. I make the scripts. Goddamn.
Anyway, continue.
But I think your point is super, super spot on, and the big deal of this and why some of these teams are these Cinderella stories or surprising people is because they are veterans and because they have coaches who have players that buy into the X's and O's, so that when it comes down to those end of games, you see those teams. Yeah, they may be a lower seed, but dude, they're just so structured. Well, they come out to win. They know when it comes down to crunch time what they have to do. And with that veteran leadership, they've been there. They go through it. They believe in what their coach tells them, and that's how they're winning these games. I mean, Gonzaga, maybe Arizona, maybe a little bit out of what we're talking about, but those are very, very good coach programs. And those are teams that get players that fit their system, kind of like Duke. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not just going out and getting, blue chips. They're getting, they'll get a top guy, but everybody else is going to be players that are going to fit in that system.
Yeah.
Now, to KK's point, Iowa State is the underdog. Miami is favored by 2.5. And for everybody listening to this podcast,
hit that
money on the Iowa State money line right now.
Hit it. I'm doing it right now.
2.5. Oh God.
I'll tell you the money line, Sam. I'm taking Iowa State money line.
Me too.
All right. Listen, Miami's winning the game. Miami's going to win by like 10 points, just so you guys know. Just so you guys know.
Make sure you hit us up when it happens.
No, and then another thing that I heard today, that extra year that a lot of people got of eligibility because of COVID, is there, like there's a lot of older players that are playing right now. There was that guy who played, I forgot what school. He was in the 6th year, like he was a 6th year senior. I forgot, I don't remember what school. He's a 6th year senior. So there's a lot of older guys playing. Plus, you look at the impact of the transfer portal. I mean, it's not just football. It happens in basketball a lot. So you got schools that have like Kentucky, right? And they're picking up all 5 freshmen. But you got these guys who are also Kentucky kind of players that don't want to be backup to these freshmen. So where do they go? They go to the Miamis and the St. Peters and the stuff of the world. So to me, all that kind of just plays into hand that Cinderellas are not really that far off from like the major programs anymore. If you really think about it, like it's like Baylor. Look at Baylor last year. Baylor is not known to be a basketball scorer or anything like that, but they had grown-ass men, and they locked you up defensively. And I was watching. I forgot which game I was watching. Like when you don't have the ability to fight through a 2-3 zone or full court press, like North Carolina was falling apart at the end of that game because that full court press was killing them. If you don't know how to simply just navigate through a full court press, that's like taking someone's manhood. It's like you can't run the ball on a football team. Like every time you try, they stop you at the goal line, or vice versa. Every time you try to stop the run, they're getting 70 yards of carry. So it's one of those like soul kind of things that the grown men have over these little kids. That's just how I feel.
I don't disagree with you, but I was sure Iowa State's made up of kids too. I mean, Iowa State's not a powerhouse that's been known to.
Probably not. I mean, they probably have grown ass men too. I just know Miami has grown ass men.
Once Miami runs into a real team, you know, it's going to be.
So Auburn's not a real team now.
Honestly, dude, I wasn't high on Auburn though. I was just high on Jabari Smith. I wasn't really high on
Jabari's great.
And the thing that bothered me about Auburn is I feel like they went away from him a lot, actually, and deferred to other people on the team, which is why I didn't think that they were going that far. But I, like Sammy, thought the SEC was going to do a lot better in this tournament, and they ended up just shitting a brick. Yeah. I know I like Tennessee.
I did point out that I was a little concerned with the SEC, and I think I told A-Rod this too when we were actually at the games. It's like you don't see anybody really scoring. You don't see that one guy that's scoring. I mean, other than like you were mentioning with Auburn, but everybody else is just they had very good defense, but they didn't have a go-to scorer, and that worried me.
Yeah,
well, yeah. And let me ask you this, A-Rod, you said you've been watching the tournament, right? Have either of you guys watched Gonzaga yet?
I have.
Yeah.
And this guy on the team is a 7-footer, white guy, Chet Holmgren. Holy shit. This guy is incredible. Oh my God.
And then they got Porzingis. That is his
way, dude.
That is
no
his
way
feeling.
He's better. He is better handles.
He's only better because he decides to play defense. Because because people who are defending him are 5'9".
If Porzingis never got hurt, Porzingis would have been one of the best players in the NBA. I'm telling you that right now. And you know who's somebody that's coming next year? Victor Wayamba. Victor Wayamba out of France. Incredible 7-footer with Chet Holmgren skills. He's 7'4" center out of France. Look up his mixtape. It will blow your freaking mind. And he's already playing professional basketball, guys, in Europe.
When you're that tall and lanky, like Chet Holmgren was 170 pounds at 7 foot tall. He's in college and couldn't even get a freshman 15. He couldn't eat enough pizzas to get him gain any weight.
How much does KD weigh?
KD's got a little muscle now. He's
now. But when KD came out of Texas, it was the same thing about KD. He's too skinny. He's too frail.
KD is way more skilled. Way more skilled than Holmgren.
Have you watched this guy play?
I have. KD, I knew when I was watching him in Texas, I was like, oh, that guy is going to be the next thing.
I'm not saying Chet Holmgren is KD, but I'm saying that he is
Kristaps.
much more skilled.
I wouldn't compare him to Kristaps. I mean, I think the guy needs more meat on his bones. Like when he gets to NBA, that they'll definitely change his diet and change out his workout routine. But
Durant's 240.
He's good. He's scary to me.
Do you think Holmgren will ever get to 210 pounds? I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't feel that confident about that.
I don't either, and I don't feel confident about Gonzaga winning it all. Who do you guys have winning it all?
Oh, Gonzaga, no doubt. It's not
Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm going Duke for Krzyzewski's last run.
Hell no.
The last
You know how much pressure? Think about it.
That'd be incredible.
You know how much pressure are all those kids to do this? Those kids are not built for that. I'm telling you.
It's my bracket.
Paolo, baby. Paolo.
You said nobody wanted the Matt Ryan contract, and look where Matt Ryan is now, bro. So
that's because I didn't realize. I didn't realize. No, I didn't say no one wanted Matt Ryan. I said the Falcons would be dumb to take that dead cap money. That's what I was saying. I didn't say no one. I know Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. I just didn't think that the Falcons would eat $40 million in dead cap. And silly me for being a good GM. That's all. Silly me.
KK has another book coming out called Me as a GM. Go get it. All right, let's do some NBA talk now. So mandate New York is lifted. Knicks, Nets, Yankees, Mets, all the players that are unvaccinated are going to be able to play now. Full-time Kyrie is back now. How scary are the Nets? How scary are you guys of the Nets?
Can I say one thing? I think the only reason why they did this had nothing to do with Kyrie. It's because the Yankees are back in town. And at the end of the day, if there was an issue with the Yankees whatsoever, they would bend over backwards to make sure that the Yankees are accommodated for this mandate. So I think Kyrie could have fought if this lockout was still on in MLB, I promise you that mandate would not have changed. But the amount of money that the Yankees generate, they were not going to have that. So to me, this was more about an MLB decision rather than Kyrie. But to answer your question, I think the Nets are going to win the East now. So that is how I feel. That's how I feel. Kyrie has not only Kyrie's legs are so fresh right now, like, and now Durant's healthy. Once they get Seth Curry back, I mean,
wait till they're healthy, right? That's what we always hear about.
Oh my God!
So wait till they're healthy. They're gonna be so good when they're healthy.
They're healthy.
Well, give us some time. Kyrie just got back. He's still got to wait for the ankle injury to come through. They'll be there. Don't worry. He always gets one, and it's just a matter of time. And I think that honestly, yes, are they scary? Hell yes. If I'm the 1 seed, am I worried about having to play them in the first round? Absolutely. Yes. But I don't want to be. I'm not here to talk about a 10 seed, bro. I want to talk to you guys about the best team in basketball, and that's the Boston Celtics.
Jesus.
Since January. Okay. Not only did they held another team under 50 points in the first half again. They're up by 23 points to the Utah Jazz. Guys, come on. This is a team that's played 3 games in 4 nights, okay? And they're up by 20 on the Jazz, a Western Conference playoff team. Now, this might come back to bite me in the ass, but they are looking damn good tonight. So, as a Celtics fan, I do not fear Brooklyn. As a Sixers fan, I would be afraid. As a
don't say anything about my team. We have
no. Trust me, you guys aren't making the playoffs. You guys don't have to worry about shit.
I know that. I'm well aware of that. Thank you.
That's crazy.
If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm worried. If I'm in those 3 seeds, those top 3 seeds there, I'm a little bit worried. Yeah, because I don't want to be on that side of the bracket. I don't want to have to play KD. I want them to have to go through a few teams before they get to me. Because honestly, by then, I think they will be banged up. I don't trust that team to stay healthy throughout the playoffs.
I'll admit, as a Sixers fan, I want no parts of Brooklyn whatsoever at all. Like, especially in the first round, I think we need to do everything in our power. The other night, we sat Embiid and Harden against Miami. To me, that was a smart move because I want Miami to hold on to that first seed so they can play Brooklyn in the first round. But the way things are shaping up, Brooklyn might pass Toronto now. So they're 8 right now. They might jump up to 7. And there's a chance that we might play them in the first round. And we have to play them in the first round. Consider this season a wash because I don't think Harden psychologically is able to do that. I just don't think this is what he's good at.
And that's what the NBA really wants, right?
Yeah. They want that so bad. Yeah. Oh, they want it so bad. But now to Boston. I will you know how we do apologies on the show sometimes? I would like to apologize to the Boston Celtics. I was talking shit back in January, December I'm like, playoffs? He doesn't like gonna make no damn play. Like I thought Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can't work together.
Oh my God, that was the most infuriating thing I've ever heard.
I thought so many things, and I have to sit here and say, damn, that's all I'm gonna say. I just gotta sit here and say, I was wrong. Like, they look scary. They look scary. Now, let's look at the East. Would I take them over Miami? Toss up. Would I take them over Chicago? Absolutely. Philly, I think Philly got that, but that's a toss up. Cleveland, no. Milwaukee, I'll give Milwaukee the edge over Boston, and then Brooklyn. To me, if I had to reorder the ranking, I would healthy, obviously. A healthy Brooklyn 1. Miami, Milwaukee 2, Miami 3, Boston 4, Philadelphia 5. And I'm saying that as a Sixers fan because I think we're gonna get too Embiid centric. And when the rubber needs to meet the road in the playoffs, Harden's gonna shoot 2 for 20 from 3, and then that's the end of the season. That's what I'm concerned about. So that's where I'm at. Sammy, you can go ahead and talk about your Celtics or Kyrie or whatever you want to talk about.
Oh man, I'm good with all that. I'm just enjoying this ride. Happy that Marcus Smart's finally getting that role that he always wanted. Even the last couple of years, they've been getting point guards to put in front of him. Now he's being the facilitator. As I've told people, he can be the facilitator and not the scorer. Big credit to Grant Williams, Vic's boy, Grant Williams, shooting 49% from corner threes. I think he's 44%.
Corner office, baby.
44% on the year from 3-point. He's now that solid 3-and-D player. And yeah, that's the unsung hero. I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. It looks like Jaylen Brown's actually struggling a lot more than Jason Tatum. So
and during the stretch, sorry, A-Rod, I got to get you in here because you're the only one. You're the only unbiased one out of all of us. So you can. But I do want to mention before you go, Peyton Pritchard is on a heater right now, guys. Fast PP is PPing all over the competition.
my boy.
Sammy's jersey buy didn't go to waste, so that's a good thing. All right. I don't want to stick on LeBron too much because the Lakers are poo-poo, but you gotta admire what the man's doing. He's leading the league at 37 years old in scoring, which is insane. So I was telling KK on the last show, like if the Lakers were actually good, he'd be the front runner for the MVP hands down. At this age in his career, he would have to be in consideration for it. But the Lakers are just so bad. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't want to, like I said, stick on the state of the lake. I guess we can just say MVP favorites since we're stuck on like that.
Hey, Rod, why are the Lakers bad?
Because he's not the most valuable GM.
Believe it or not, because I actually retweeted the story. LeBron James wanted DeMar DeRozan, actually. He did not want Russell Westbrook initially. Ooh. Rob Pelinka did not want to give DeRozan a 3-year deal, which would be required in the sign and trade to get DeRozan. And so instead of going to get DeRozan, they went to their backup plan to get Russell Westbrook. Now, all the other stuff, look, at the end of the day, LeBron James is not the GM of the team. I'm tired of people always blaming players for GM shit. It is the GM that signs the contract, rips up the paper and all that stuff, okay? All this notion that it's LeBron, who freaking cares? I've seen LeBron James scrap up a team and play with Rodney Hood, Darren Williams, Larry Nance Jr., and take him to the NBA Finals, okay? So I don't want to hear this crap about he's a bad GM. Look, at the end of the day, the team is not good. Anthony Davis has not played all season. That has nothing to do with being a bad GM. And LeBron still give you 30 points a night, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in year 19. But
now I'm gonna be the one that answers A-Rod's question here. I think that the MVP right now. I'm gonna give you rankings, okay? MVP right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's my number 1. Followed closely behind Nikola Jokic at number 2. Number 3, Embiid. Number 4, Jason Tatum. Number 5, Luka Doncic.
Jason Tatum over Luka Doncic.
Number 4, Jason Tatum. Number 5, Luka Doncic.
Unbiased A-Rod. Would you put Jason Tatum in your top 5 MVP voting? Second of all, why is Nikola Jokic and Giannis over Embiid right now? Unbiased A-Rod, please tell me.
I'm biased. Say I was only looking at 3. I'm not looking at 5. My top 3 in the order is there's no reason for Jason Tatum to be there. Number 1 is Embiid, and holding on to his ankle very, very tight and is about to leapfrog him is the Joker, because I've been saying it all the last episodes. And then my third is the Greek Freak. That would be my third.
I agree with his list.
Y'all are sleeping on Giannis.
I'm gonna keep it real. I watch Embiid every night, right? But every time I watch Nikola Jokic, I'm like, damn.
You gotta appreciate.
Every time I watch Jokic, I'm like, damn, he's good. Like
Jokic is incredible.
He's on another level of incredible. Actually, it's actually like insane how good he is. Like it is. Every time I watch Embiid, I feel like, yeah, I like Embiid. Like, he's so good. But when I watch Jokic, I'm like, if they asked me to do a trade straight up for him, I'd probably say yeah. Like, you know,
here's the thing about Embiid and Giannis, right? So Giannis is averaging 55% field goal percentage to Joel's 48%, right? And then on top of that, Giannis is averaging more rebounds, more assists, the same amount of steals, the same amount of blocks per game, and has a higher player efficiency rating. I mean, y'all are sleeping on Giannis.
Look, you know what the thing is about the NBA? It's a stories driven league.
You're right.
The best player. Because if that was the case, Michael Jordan should have 10 MVPs. LeBron should have 10 MVP. Like Kobe Bryant only has 1 MVP. Does that make any sense? So at the end of the day, they're not going to just keep giving it to Giannis because they want to. Jokic was a great story last year. To me, this year, the best story has been Embiid. If they can, I don't want them to get the number 1 seed, but if they do, I hope they have to play Toronto. But however it works,
I mean, based off of previous MVP voting, Jokic automatically gets it for averaging a triple double, right? If he ends, I mean, he's at 8 assists right now, but
that's 10 games left.
He's not going to get triple double. He's not going to get there.
He's not going to get there.
But he is leading the league in efficiency rating, and like you said, KK, when you turn him on, you watch him. Some of his passes are like Rondo-esque. Like I know I'm being a homer here, but some of Rondo's passes like were just incredible, like thread the needle stuff. But for Jokic to do it as a 7-footer with a lot of weight to him, I mean, Jokic is incredible.
And you look at the PER right now, Jokic is leading 32.82, Giannis 32.47, and Embiid 31.15. So the 3 guys, those should be the 3 that they vote on. And then when it's going to come down to it, they're not going to go with PER. They're going to go with who's the best story out of the 3.
Yeah, and even at that, like, DeMar DeRozan sinks a game-winning shot, and they're like, we got to put him in a conversation for it. I mean, the Bulls are a great story. It's great, but like what these 3 guys are doing, nobody can touch them, man. We say they suck, bro, but last week we were praising them.
Chicago has not beat a top seed all year. Like they're 0-14 versus like the top 4 seeds.
Playoff teams. It's playoff teams. Yeah.
They're 0-14.
Whatever. I'm not trying to make a run for why DeRozan should be MVP.
I know. I'm just saying that story died.
These guys have been consistently doing it all year, and Giannis has just been under the radar. And then for the longest, the Joker was on the radar. We never talked about the Joker on the show until I was like, dude, we got to give this man some flowers. Like he's no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr., whoever the fuck Bones Highland is just balling.
He's a beast, man. He beat the hell out of Philadelphia last week. That's just scary.
His name is Bones, bro. Anybody named Bones that's from Denver, Colorado better be a baller, man. So, I mean, they're finding ways to win. And the Joker's like the Aaron Rodgers of basketball. He makes everybody good around him, man. So you got to give the man his flowers where it's due.
You know who's 4th on the PER this year is LeBron James. 4th.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's been great.
But also another thing, we talk about it all the time. Now, the big man is back. This is the evolution of the big man. They got to be high PER and can do shit like that you're seeing Jokic do every night. And Embiid taking 20 free throws a game, and Giannis is literally like running the show. So that is the evolution of the big man that we're seeing. That's why I think we were talking about the other day, and I said someone said Rudy Gobert was like a top 5 center. Absolutely not. He is terrible. I have no love for Rudy Gobert whatsoever. And look at Karl Anthony Towns. He's creeping up. Like, if he was at this pace early on this year, I mean, damn, that's somebody that could be an MVP candidate too. So I think the big man is back. I think that's a great for basketball. So now we can get 7-footers back playing basketball again and not having to play summer volleyball for the Olympics. So Kudos. Kudos.
All right. So the reason I wanted you guys on the show because KK in his other book, The Lying Liars and the Lies They Tell, in chapter 13, forbids me from speaking
There
of
is no
baseball.
chapter 13. I don't do chapter 13. It's chapter 12 or 14.
All right, skip that. He filed chapter 13. Anyways, we get to talk baseball now. So I want to talk baseball with my boys, man. And KK, you can chime along too. I know you're a big baseball fan.
Man, look, do you see the lineup that the Phillies have right now?
Well,
God,
that's
Do
what I
you
want
see
to
the bats that we have right now?
We'll get into our teams. We're going to get into our teams. We're going to talk about how we feel about them. But the one thing I took away from this MLB offseason is one, Rob Manfred sucks as a commissioner, and two, nobody is loyal to their players. Everybody that you thought was on that team is gone. The Yankees included, getting rid of big name stars. Correa is no longer with the Astros now. He's with the Twins on a 3-year deal. Freddie Freeman shocks the world. They go and sign Olsen. He's like, what the hell? And then next thing he's a Dodger. So a lot of movement in baseball. What free agents are you guys happy with their signings, and which ones are you like, what were you thinking doing that? Because I got my number one, but what were you thinking doing that? But I also understand why. So
I'll let Sammy go first. I know he's itching to talk about it.
I mean, so I wanted to start it off by saying, how about Trevor Story? That's awesome. That's going to be really great for the Red Sox. I mean, Chaim Bloom is just absolutely brilliant. In Chaim, I trust now. He didn't make a huge splash. He made a good enough splash. He didn't spend a ton of money on a player that fits what we need, a need that we definitely need. And he also ensured that if Xander Bogaerts were to test free agency, guess what? We still have a shortstop, and we have a guy in the minors that can come up and replace at second base. With that being said, I had something that I wanted to mention that I thought was really sneaky good, and I was pissed that the Red Sox didn't do it, was Carlos Rodon. That was my sneaky good one to the San Francisco Giants, and Jock Peterson and Matt Boyd to the San Francisco Giants. I thought what the Giants did was sneaky good. They didn't spend a ton of money, but they addressed a ton of needs. That was a team that won their division last year, and they made it even better, adding 2 arms and a pretty big bat. And they didn't really break the bank a ton for all of that. So, I mean, look out for the Giants, man. That's kind of me picking a little dark horse in free agency.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that too. That was my sneaky pick. My only scare with it is that Rondon has been notoriously bad his entire career and had one good year with the White Sox.
Because of the elbow, bro.
I know, but he's a good left-handed pitcher, and that's what's really good. I really like that signing. The other one that I was like, why? But I get is the 7 years for Chris Bryant in Colorado, which I'm like, get your money, kid, but they're not gonna win anything there. He may hit 40, 50 homers out there, though. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not going to win anything out there with him. That's one I was just like, what are the Rockies doing? They let Story go. They could have kept Story and paired him with him, but instead they just decided to sign him. So, yeah, I don't know there.
The Jorge Soler was kind of weird, too.
I like that signing, though. I think that's
I like him, but, I mean, Miami, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really know what Miami is doing anymore. They're kind of rudderless at this point. They used to be the Rays, kind of the Rays model, right? Where they let their stars go, then rebuild through. But I don't think they have do they have a top 20 prospect? I don't think so.
I don't believe so, no.
Oh, yes, they do. Edward Cabrera.
Yeah, Edward Cabrera. But they also brought up all their pitchers pretty quick too. So
that's true. And they just had one
left.
And the Jose Fernandez thing wasn't great either. But
yeah, for
sure. The biggest signing for me, I'm always skewed. Trevor Story is huge. What an incredible signing for the Red Sox. Not only are you signing this guy to an incredible deal, but you're also keeping him away from the Yankees, who I think we're looking at him among other replacement shortstops when they made that deal early on after the lockout happened. Now, I'm glad A-Rod mentioned how bad Rob Manfred was at his job. He's absolutely terrible. It seems like he's deciding to cater to the boomers rather than the new fans of baseball, which just sucks. I mean, really, we're getting rid of the shift. I mean, come on, like what is this? I mean, I'm not a big shift. I don't care about the shift regardless, but I mean, why would you take that away? Why would you take that away as an option? It's just weird to me. Getting rid of the 1-game playoff, that's a huge bummer. I know that game did numbers, especially when you had a great one last year with the White Sox, right? So
Red
lame.
Sox Yankees.
Yeah, Red Sox Yankees. Yeah, last year, Red Sox Yankees.
How do we feel about the universal DH in both?
I hate it.
Why?
I'm fine with it.
Why would you hate that? Why?
I'd like this is the one boomer thing I like, okay? is that one league had their thing and the other league had their other thing. So it mattered who won the All-Star game, right? Because you want, if you're an AL team, you want to win it because you're tailored towards the DH. You want to have home field advantage. Now, why the fuck does it matter? Who cares? I mean, these guys are all professionals. I know they say home field advantage matters, and it really does to some extent, but not to the extent that it did before when you had to see Chris Sale hitting in the 7th inning because you needed him to pitch in the 8th. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's so much thinking.
I'm gonna miss that stuff.
I mean, look, I can talk about. To me, the Carrera thing was kind of weird. I know the Twins made some other signings, but I don't. That to me didn't make a whole lot of sense. But my main focus, and then the Yankees, I don't know what the hell they were doing too. A lot of questionable things I was scratching my head about as well. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna talk about my team, and that's the only team I care about.
Let's talk about how we feel about our teams. I'm good about that.
Listen. Again. Every year I go into the year, I'm like, all right, do we get any pitching? We got Familia, we got Brad Hand. So we got a little bit of bullpen. You know, we had Zach Wheeler, and we have a decent pitching staff. Is it enough to get us over the hump? I don't know. But who the hell is pitching to us? That is what I need to know. Because when I look at the Mets and look at the Braves, they got bats. They got a lot of bats over there. They got a lot of pitching over there. So they're great. But we get in Castellanos, get in Schwarber, who I love. He was on my fantasy team. And before he got hurt, that's like the theme of the story. Like every time, if they stay healthy, and Bryce Harper's coming off of an MVP season, I mean, we're gonna put up a lot of runs. We're gonna put up runs. We just need to. I mean, hopefully, Brad Hand is able to help us in that. You know, with our relief pitching. Our relief pitching is terrible. Has been terrible for a while now because we let down pretty decent starting pitching performances. So I think if we're able to fix up what we need to fix up in for our relief pitching, we're gonna hit. Real Muto is my favorite catcher, and he's gonna do fine. Like, and now he's playing a little bit of first base. It's just I love where we're at offensively. I love where we're at offensively.
The Phillies might have the most errors this year.
I was going to say,
that is. Listen,
Castellanos are the same players to me, man.
I understand, but we gonna hit. Okay, defensively, I didn't say anything. I said I like where we're at offensively. Okay,
if your goal is to make the playoffs, that's fine, but you gotta have a glove to win playoff games. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm hoping we're gonna get to a point during the season where we're like, all right, let's fix this specific issue right here. I think for now we just need to just get some excitement back on the team. Just something to look forward to on opening day. And you know, if it's a few guys hitting over 30 home runs on the same team, I think that's fantastic. So I think that's going to be probably our focus right now, is just to get the juices going, and then we'll focus on, all right, now what do we need to fix defensively? What do we need to fix with our pitching? But I still believe, you know, the Mets are better than us probably, and the Braves are better than us probably. So that is where I'm at, but we'll see.
Boys, how we feeling about the Red Sox? What about Dahlbeck? What do you think about him?
He sucks.
I'm honestly feeling pretty good. I mean, we're looking at a team that probably overachieved a little bit in pitching, but we're looking at I think a genius coach in Alex Cora, who knew what he had in his pitching and never let anybody pitch further than 5-6 innings. So then what does Kyle Bloom go out? He goes out and gets a bunch of long relievers. He's like, okay, so if this is how we're going to play, we're going to continue playing this way because it's been pretty successful for us. And then we get a bat. We get a bat for cheap. We add Trevor Story. We just inked that 1-year option with Rafael Devers. I'm pretty certain they're going to work something out long-term there. I think the biggest question for me is what's going to happen to Xander Bogaerts. Is this a scenario where Chaim Bloom is going to hold all the leverage over Xander Bogaerts? I really hope not. I know there's a lot of talks about, Bloom is very big on what you can do defensively as well as offensively. And if that's the case, well, Trevor Story is a way better shortstop than Xander Bogaerts in probably all regards, in my opinion. But as far as hitting, Xander Bogaerts is a top 3 hitting shortstop. It's just he really sucks on defense, but who cares? Honestly, it's not that bad. It's in my opinion. No, I mean, but he doesn't commit a lot of errors. It's just he's not Carlos Correa.
Yeah, I don't think Story is exponentially better than Bogarts by a lot, but I don't think he has a lot of pressure on him in Colorado either. Where
he's a Gold Glover, perennial Gold Glover though.
But Bogarts is doing it year in and year out with the Red Sox, no problem. And
Silver Slugger, yeah.
And I've always been a big Bogarts fan. I think he's probably my favorite Red Sox that's on the team right now. Him and Devers, I like them a lot. But I think you guys had good signings. I think both of us whiffed on the Freddie Freeman thing, even though we got a late phone call on a Tuesday at 11:30 saying I'm not coming to New York, and we signed Anthony Rizzo. But the Yankees, for me, they're a bit of a headache. I think the one thing we need to address is starting pitching and bullpen, and we really haven't made those moves to address that. I know we've got 2 solid firsts and 2s. Everybody else is like up in the air. What are we going to get out of Garcia? Well, is what's the dude that was out all entire like last year for beating his girlfriend or whatever? Is he back? What's Severino going to be?
Severino, yeah.
Yeah, but the other guy that we had too, the other Dominican dude that we had, we don't know what we're going to get out of him. And then there's Montgomery, who's always like at the very end of it. He'll pitch a few good games for you, and you don't know what you get out of it. But as much as I dislike Gary Sanchez, because I felt like he was declining, I felt like getting rid of him was a bad move. I mean, I know we get Josh Donaldson, who's a former AL MVP, good, but guy strikes out a lot. We just basically, and I was big on Urshela because he could play anywhere on the diamond. He kind of took that spot and said, I'll be your shortstop since Glaber can't do it. We can shift him back to second and allow LeMahieu to play first or third, wherever we need him to be. So getting rid of Urshela, because he was cheap. I mean, they weren't going to sign him for no big contract, even though they're the Yankees, they probably would. But getting rid of Urshela and Sanchez really, really bothered me because now we have a hole at catcher. Higashioka is just going to be, he's a glorified backup. And if we can get Wilson Contreras, I'd be happy with that. I know they're linked to that. But what are we going to give up for him? That's the scary part now. But Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, like I'm people shit on him, but he was the 3rd best defensive shortstop in the league last year. And the guy can play all over the diamond and catcher too. So I like that get. They've been on the radar for him for a long time, but I don't think he's a game changer for you. That's just, I don't see it happening. I think what they need to do is stop tinkering with Judge, give him his contract that he's deserved, and focus in on whatever relief pitching is there and get good ones, man, because we were known for having a good bullpen that was kind of like what you guys were doing. We could get long, and you used to tell me all the time, you have the best bullpen in baseball. You just don't use it right. Like, get those long relief guys, not going more than 5 innings. If you can give me that 6, that's good. And then the last thing I'm saying, call up Japan and get Tanaka back, baby. Get that man back. That's all I want. I need Tanaka back.
One thing that you guys have over us, and I've told you this many times, is Garrett Cole is playing. Chris Sale hasn't really played in 2 seasons, and that's a big if for us. It's such a big if for us.
The problem with me and Garrett Cole is people have figured him out. People have figured out Garrett Cole now. Like the Rays have his number. The Rays will. This guy gives up what's his ERA on the year, like 2.3. He plays the Rays. He's given up 7 runs. Like, if a guy's given up 7 runs for me, he'd have been out immediately. There's no reason for him to give up 7 runs. Yeah. So Garrett Cole is getting figured out, and I don't know why he's getting figured out, but to pay him all this money and for that to happen, I'm not cool with it, man.
I mean, he smoked us. We just got to your bullpen.
Exactly. That's the name of the game. And at the end, you got to have a good bullpen. KK knows that problem.
Very well.
So,
do you think the Rays are going to start spending money? Just we were talking about the Rays real quick because
no, never.
You know, the fact that they were even in Freeman talks to me was like
They offered the same contract, apparently.
Yeah, it was a new day for me. I was like, I didn't believe it, but
they need to. But to that point too, they should probably pay some of their guys that money as well instead of going get Freeman. Like I was telling my friends today, to make room for Freeman, the Dodgers had to get rid of Matt Beattie. Now that smells Devil Ray all over it right there, because that guy can play outfield, he can play first base, and he's cheap. And he's from a winning caliber championship, and they're going to get the best out of him. I bet you he'll be an all-star. So if the Rays are smart, couldn't get Freddie Freeman, but we got the guy you cut. That's where I'm going out with it. So
I'm going to the home opener. I think it was April 8th or 7th, 8th, one of those 2 days. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of scouting, see what I can see, let you guys know what I find out. Might try to interview a few players. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna wear my press pass and see what I can get out of the Devil Rays.
We'll see. The AL East is still competitive, man. Like I don't know where the Blue Jays
except for the Orioles.
So I got a comment on the Blue Jays. So on further review, they haven't really spent any money because all of their talent is homegrown.
Yeah.
And they added pitchers on such discounts so that they can even give those homegrown guys max contracts and still be under the salary cap threshold, which is bananas.
Who's the GM over there? Who's the GM?
I don't know.
That guy deserves a raise, because like everybody in free agency was linked to the Blue Jays. Like, how?
Bro,
how? Like,
the Blue Jays are so it's crazy to me. I'm like, they're so good, and they don't think they know how good they're much better they could be. Like they're so like that. I don't. At this point, you would think they would figure something out, because they do such a good job across the board from a managerial standpoint that you would think. I mean, I think obviously we're in the same division where you got to deal with the Yankees and the Red Sox, and then you got the little brother Rays who just won't ever go away. It's like, it's hard, and I get it, but they just have so much talent, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just insane to me that they haven't really done anything with it yet for all these years. I don't know,
they've only spent $160 million. The CBT this year is 230, and it's only going up by the time I think Vlad and Bichette will be past their arbitration to get those full contracts. It'll be like 240 million. So they're golden.
It's insane, man. Like, more power to them, man, but they're still missing that one piece, man. I don't know what it is yet, man. We'll find out.
Bullpen.
The Celtics are shooting 68% from three. Just wanted you guys to know.
All right, we got our baseball talking, and I'm happy about that. Let's wrap up the show. KK, you take it away from here since you got the fun segment.
So it's not really a fun segment. It's fun, you know. I like, you guys are my go-to guys when it comes to gambling, prop bets, et cetera, et cetera. I play a little game called Over Under. Nothing crazy. I just want to just get all three of you guys' opinion on 5 different things that we've probably talked about today, probably brought up in conversation, seen on social media. So I got 5. Actually, I got a 6th one. 6 over unders that we're going to look at. I got specific numbers. I'm trying to get really good with these numbers. Okay. Mm-hmm. The first one, over under 0.5 Super Bowl rings for Patrick Mahomes for the rest of his career.
Oh, that's under. It's under.
I'm going
0.5. I'll take the over.
Money. If I was putting money on, I'd probably go over. But I feel under. But money. If I'm putting money on, I'm probably going over. A-Rod, what you think?
0.5. My gut is telling me under, but my heart is saying go over.
I'm gun to your head, money right there. What are you saying?
Over. Over. Pull the fucking trigger.
All right, next.
Yeah, if you want to lose money.
3.5 quarterbacks taken in round 1 of this draft.
3.5. Way under.
Are we sure? You know how this shit works.
Matt Corral just came out and impressed some people today. So
who's the kid from Malik Willis?
Malik Willis, yeah.
Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral. That's 3, and then
Liberty Boy.
I said him already.
That's Malik Willis, yeah.
That's 3, And then there's always that fourth random one. I feel like I don't know.
Who's the guy? The guy from Cincy.
Oh
Rattler.
yeah, Ritter.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think three's the max. I got under.
I got under
going under.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why you saw so much free agency and trades with quarterbacks this offseason is because people don't see anything in the draft. So I'm going under.
All right, cool. All right. 7.5. Celtics playoff wins this postseason.
Over
7.5. So meaning if you get over 7.5, that means you're making it to the conference final.
Yeah, and I think
all right, 7.5 over under Celtics playoff wins this postseason.
Over. Come on, look what I'm wearing.
A-Rod.
Man, I want to do good for these boys, man. Like, I'd have to see the matchups, but I'm taking the under on this one.
Sammy.
You're on me. Why you gotta put me on the spot like this?
7.5. Right now, if you guys were the first round would be Chicago, I think I'll get them. But then you're doing Miami or Brooklyn.
I'm not afraid of Miami at all.
I am because I still don't know if we can beat the zone.
Absolutely, we can. And it's
so you said Eastern Conference Finals.
7.5.
That's zone working for 7 games.
I'm hedging. I'm going under because my heart wants over, but
that's crazy.
Professionally, I'll take the under.
You do the podcast by yourself from now on.
That's fine.
This one was actually tough for me. A weird thing's telling me they're gonna pull through and make it to the conference finals, but I'm going under. I'm going under here. I think they're gonna get a tough matchup in the second round, whether it's Miami or Brooklyn or Giannis for that matter. And I don't know the horses. They got enough horses to make that happen. So I'm gonna go.
Giannis is the only team that scares me. That is the only team that scares me.
That's why he's your MVP. I get it.
He's a scary guy, man.
All right. 85.5. Red Sox wins next year. Over under 85.5.
I'm taking it. I took it last year. I'm taking it again this year. Over.
Under.
I'm taking over, bro. Sammy called that shit in the beginning of the season. He said, "You want to bet? You want to bet money on it?" I was like, "Absolutely not."
What do you think? Like 90?
92?
90. That's what they were last year, right? 92, 93? Yeah.
I don't think we got worse.
80 wins only because this is what I did last year and we made the playoffs. So I'm doing it again.
Oh, you think like me? I get it. I'm going 85.5. I'm gonna go.
Is that the over under this year again?
It is 85.5. Yeah.
No way.
Why did they keep doing that?
I looked it up before I know what they picked up.
Well, you gotta look at the division, Sammy. The division got a lot better. The Blue Jays got a lot better.
Who got better?
The Blue Jays.
They still have a bullpen.
They're still a good team. It's a monster lineup.
Vegas knows something we don't know at the end of the day.
They always. I'm telling you, they always do. They always do. Mm-hmm. But
amen.
Let me double check, make sure I'm not crazy. It is. Yep, it is. Well, no.
Well, for those who care,
this one says 87, but the one I looked at this morning said 85.5.
87 makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well. All right. 86. Right in the middle. Over under 86. Go.
Over.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I don't know if you guys. All right. Number one seed. Oh, I'm sorry. 1.5. Number one seeds that make it to the final four. 1.5.
Under.
There's 3 left.
To the final four.
Final four.
To
the final four. There's 3 number one seeds left.
What was the over under? 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, I'd take the over. I think 2 make it. Yeah.
I'm saying under based on my bracket.
Over.
I got Gonzaga and Arizona making it, so I got to go over on this one. So the final four, I got to go over. All right, last one. 59.5. I don't know if you guys saw the dunk that Zion Williamson did last night. Games that Zion plays next year, 50 over or under 59.5.
Under. Hammer it.
I hope for basketball's sake it's over, but I'm gonna say under.
You think he's gonna? Yeah. I don't. For him to play 60 games would be a miracle to me.
That and the Red Sox. If you people are watching and listening, and you're betting people, you bet that over on the Red Sox, and you bet that under on 59.5 on Zion games.
Yeah.
Those are locks.
They're gonna rest him the whole game, right? I mean, or most of the season, right? I mean, why would you
Load management all year.
Yeah.
It's like Kawhi Leonard situation. Yeah, honestly, if you look at Kawhi, Kawhi when he was doing strictly load management, I think he was still getting 65 games though.
I just don't. Zion's a different case.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Oh, you think Tom Brady win another ring over under 1 or 0.5? Will he ever win another ring?
Under,
I think so too. I think he's done, man.
I think he's got one more in him. I mean, look, who's in his way in the NFC? I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it this year. I don't see it. Unless the Rams go get Wagner and Matthew. All right, maybe the Rams are going to be will be back, but outside of that, I don't know.
I mean, they did with
in his way in the
Michael.
NFC. You know who's in his way in the NFC?
I'm
Todd Bowles.
waiting.
That's who's in his way.
I mean, look,
Todd Bowles, is that what you said?
But no, Cooper Kupp. I give more credit to Cooper Kupp than I'm going to give blame to Todd Bowles. I'm sorry. Let me let Cooper Kupp. Let all this love that we gave Cooper Kupp during the year, and as soon as the season ended, no one talks about Cooper Kupp anymore. All I hear is Davante Adams, Tyreek Hill. No one wants to talk about Cooper Kupp anymore. Cooper Kupp is still a damn good receiver, so I'm going to give him credit. That's all I got.
All right, boys, that's the end of the show. It is your time to plug yourselves. We appreciate you on as always, man. So tell them what they can listen to you at and lose their money when they put the gambling lines out there.
Yeah, they can find us on YouTube at Townie Sports. You can also find us on all your streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, at Townie Sports as well. You can find us on Instagram at Townie_sports. I put all the clips of Vic's crazy talkabouts and sayings. And you can also find us on TikTok at Townie Sports Pod. But yeah, always a pleasure.
You guys started posting on TikTok?
Yeah.
All right, you guys gonna have to give me a master class so I can master this little TikTok thing because
it's tough.
I know I'm not these Gen Zers. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what's cool. So
we had Vine. Vine was our thing.
Yeah, let me get the Vine back. That's what,
right.
Do it for the Vine. Do it for the Vine.
Exactly. All right, A-Rod plug.
All right, so us, you can find us on Instagram at fairweather_pod, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at fair_weather_pod, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Fairweather Podcast, where we subscribe to podcasts. You can find us there as well. For those who care, that's only me. The Knicks just beat the Charlotte Hornets. Like I said, that's only me. Woohoo.
You realize how those crickets in the background when he said
exactly.
that?
Guys, it is always a pleasure to have you guys on. I just had to throw some Knicks stuff out there, even though you're beating the Jazz by like 30. So always appreciate you guys having on. It's always a good collab having you on. Continually having you on as always. So you're our go-tos every time.
Good luck to you. Good luck to all you brackets, by the way.
Thank you. Hey, what do we win if we win that group? By the way, have you guys talked about prize yet?
Didn't we do like $50 last year? I think we did.
Some money, gift card, something.
We'll throw another 50 in there. But what if I'm not going to win? So A-Rod's not going to win. So hey, fans,
I'm in the pack. My guys are alive still.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll do another 50. If all right, here it goes. Me and A-Rod are gonna both put in our 25 to make it 50, right? However, if A-Rod wins, I gotta give him 50, and if I win, he's gotta give me 50. How does that sound?
Ooh, I mean that's between y'all, but
yeah, but outside of that, whoever else wins, they'll get 50. You cool with that, A-Rod?
A-Rod doesn't drink usually, but KK's buying my bar tab. That's what he's doing.
Hey, okay, we're gonna see. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Go Blue, go Tar Heels for basketball because I love Tar Heels. In October, whatever. Phillies, we back. I'm keeping Shane McClanahan on my fantasy team. He was like a last round pick. That's easy money. Peace.